Everyone loves meat pies or Jamaican beef patties. They're so good. But when you're Jamaican, you just call them beef patty. Yeah, man. Let's make some. So to get the famous flaky crust, we're going to use our flour, vegetable shortening, and margarine. And for the color, we have the curry powder and turmeric, sugar, and salt. And of course, we're going to mix using iced water. And yes, that's ice in the water. It keeps it nice and cold. We need it as cold as possible. So we've added all the dry ingredients to the bowl. That's the flour, the turmeric, the curry, the sugar, and salt. And we're just going to give that a quick little mix, just like this, right? And after that is combined, we add the shortening and margarine mixture. And we use our fingers, the tips of our fingers, to rub the margarine and shortening into the flour. Now we're going to keep doing this until it resembles breadcrumbs. And there you have it. It looks just like breadcrumbs. Now this time we're going to mix with the iced water, not the ice of course, just the water, and bring the dough together just enough to form a dough. Now after the dough is formed, we wrap it in plastic and it goes in the fridge for 30 minutes. To season my meat, I'm going to be using thyme, meat seasoning, salt, garlic, onion, peppers, and some scallion. Of course, now is a good time to prep the meat because the dough is in the fridge chilling. I'm using only half of the onion because I have like a pound of meat, ground beef. So I'm using a half of the onion, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 sweet peppers, and 3 pieces of scallion. Of course, my thyme I picked from the stem. You don't want thyme stem in your meat. So I'm using just the leaves. And those sweet peppers are the mini sweet peppers. And later on, I'm going to be adding some Scotch bonnet pepper. Now, I don't have fresh ones. I wish I did. If you do, please feel free to go ahead and use them. But I'm going to use the Scotch bonnet sauce, the pepper sauce. It works just as good. The flavor is awesome. Always remember that whatever you're doing in the kitchen, please clean as you go along. It certainly makes you have less to clean up when you're done, and I love to work on a clean surface, so as I go along, I will clean. Please remember guys, any filling you want for your patties you can use. I'm using beef. You can use shrimp if you want. You can use chicken or vegetables. If you're vegetarian, you could make some kind of vegetarian filling and make your homemade Jamaican patties special for you. The seasoning would of course be the same except for the meat seasoning that I'm using. And if you're using some kind of seafood, then you would use seafood seasoning. But you can use any filling you want. This is totally up to you. Now that I have all my fresh seasoning chopped and I'm ready to go, I'm gonna dunk it into the ground beef. But before that, I'm gonna put a tablespoon of white cane vinegar and a tablespoon of soy sauce in. Alrighty, so it's time to get messy. We're putting all the seasoning in, and then I'm gonna just use my hands this time to kind of squash it all together and mix it to ensure that it is all combined and every bit of meat has some seasoning. The skillet has been heated with a tablespoon of cooking oil. Just go ahead and dunk the meat in and turn it while it cooks. And after about 7 minutes of cook time, I added a tablespoon of Scotch bonnet pepper sauce and 3 tablespoons of tomato paste and mix until it's done. This is gonna take like another 3 minutes or so. And then we are ready to fill the dough and make our Jamaican beef patty. So here I'm putting my dough onto a pre-floured surface. I'm going to be very generous with the flour because I don't want it sticking. And I'm going to roll it out with a rolling pin. Of course, I'm going to flatten it with my hands first. And then I roll it to a 1/4 inch thickness just before I cut it into circles. Now, Jamaican beef patties don't necessarily have a special shape or a special look, or do they? Here I'm using my pot lid, yeah, the pot cover, there it is, to make circles. That's the shape my patties are gonna have. What shape are you doing? Yeah, write it in the comments below. I wanna know what shapes you make, right? Let's talk about it. So the size of your delicious Jamaican meat pies, Jamaican Patty, will decide how much filling you use for this part. If they are huge, use a lot, be generous. But if they're small like mine, 1 tablespoon will do, right? Now after you've put your filling in, you're gonna use iced water to brush the edge of your dough. And then you're gonna close and seal it with a fork. Of course, here's a better view of how to do that. I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and I pop them in for 18 minutes. And there they are, your delicious Jamaican meat pies, Jamaican patties, Jamaican patty, however you call it. It's the same delicious pastry filled with juicy meat. Enjoy. Thanks for watching Creation's Cooking. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.